Whoa. Hit that like button. Let's get it. Where you at, baby? Let's go. All right. Carmen JC. My goodness. Oh, here we go again. Here we go again, man. Same old time, just a different day. Here we go again. Same old thing, just another different day. Here we go again. uh, 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 uh. That's a whole nother story, buddy. You know? Here we go again. Same old time, just another day. Hey, here we go again. Hey man, YouTube was tripping last night, man. So I know YouTube be playing with the channel. There was people up in there saying normal things, and YouTube was blocking the comments. I mean, it was people saying things with no profanity, no vulgar language, and YouTube was blocking the comments last night, man. I looked at the what I did was I watched the chat replay, the live stream replay, right? And I looked at some of the stuff that YouTube was blocking. I'm like, come on, man. Are you serious? You know, straight up. But yeah, man, bless the like button. It ain't nothing. Carmen JC. Oh, you talk about a certified airhead. My God. Let me tell you something, black man. If you end up with a woman like this, man, you better leave her instantly. This is the same woman who assisted white men during slavery. She's a certified airhead. It's like, man, you can't possibly be this foolish, be this clueless as this woman right here. I'm going in, man. I got to take the gloves off on Carmen. Oh, I got to take the gloves off of Carmen. Yeah, YouTube was blocking everybody's comments last night. I'm looking like, what? Crazy, right? Well, make sure that you guys bless the like button, man. Tap in for the show. We finna drop some game on this one. Right? You're doing yourself a major disservice if you get with a black woman who got a mindset like this. Carmen JC is better off being with a white man. I don't see why any black man would want anything to do with her. She is built for a white man. She's not built for no black man, homie. I promise you. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you take on a black woman who thinks like this, a black woman who even talks like this. This woman is pure buffoonery. Let's get into the content, baby. Soon as we hit the 5-minute mark, we're gonna start. But I need you guys to bless the like button. I told you YouTube been shadow banning the channel again, slowing up the numbers, blocking everybody's comments. That's what they do. They get on that goofy time with my channel. 1 week is going up, then they'll slow my numbers down by blocking comments and shadow banning the damn channel, playing with the numbers. Anyway, let's get into this clip right here. Carmen JC. My God, man.
Conservative side about this organization who
She's so dumb. Let me say this. When Ashley Janae got unalive, she said, I don't know. You guys are saying that Joe did it because he's white. Yeah. Joe is not a racist. He supported Black Lives Matter. Yeah. He supported it. Joe is not a racist. He made tons of donations. He supported Black Lives Matter. You can't possibly be this foolish, but yes, she is. Be aware of the black girl with a Valley Girl accent with a lace front wig. She's the enemy to black men. 100%.
today we have to talk about the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. I know this news have been like wall-to-wall coverage, especially on the conservative side about this organization who is historically like the ADL, where they just label a bunch of people as a hate group or as an anti-Semite or a racist or extremist. Is essentially what they've done over the years. And as you can see, it has gotten completely out of control. They also had labeled people like Charlie Kirk or Turning Point USA a hate organization essentially, and obviously they labeled Charlie Kirk as like a racist, and obviously now we don't have a Charlie Kirk alive because of this type of rhetoric. And I'm not even saying, because I don't believe the official story when it comes to Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying that the official story is true, but I'm just saying that it does put a target on people's head. And
they labeled the Black Panthers a hate group. I bet Carmen JC ain't had nothing to say about that. Yeah, they labeled the Black Panthers a hate group, and the Black Panthers wasn't going around lynching white people, wasn't going around oppressing white people. But she ain't have a problem with your government labeling them a hate group. I bet Carmen JC ain't never said a word about that, because that means she would have to call all white people, and she's not going to do it. She's a bird brain. She's mad at the fact that people call Charlie Kirk a racist. Why would you be mad about that as a black woman? When have you ever gave white people pushback based on some things they said about black folks? I ain't never seen you give white folks pushback when it comes to the things that they say about us. This woman is a bird brain.
Sanders, for the longest, that white supremacy is a hoax. It is. Okay. And I could tell you, it's very simple to tell you why I know white supremacy is a hoax. You could just look at the FBI numbers. Okay. More black people kill white people every year rather than the other way around. Okay.
More black people kill white people than the other way around. You blacks are racist. And yeah. And you hated Charlie Kirk. Listen to this stupidity. She's up here campaigning for white folks the whole time, saying that white supremacy don't exist. Black folks are just making it up. The Ku Klux Klan don't exist. The Noble Knights don't exist. The Aryan Brotherhood don't exist. None of these white supremacist groups exist, according to this airhead. You blacks are just making it up. White supremacy doesn't exist. And Joe McCann, he's not a racist. He supported Black Lives Matter.
We don't have a Charlie Kirk alive because of this type of rhetoric. And I'm not even saying people like Charlie Kirk or Turning Point USA a hate organization essentially, and obviously they labeled Charlie Kirk as like a racist, and obviously now we don't have a Charlie Kirk alive because of this type of rhetoric. And I'm not even saying, because I don't believe the official story when it comes to Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying that the official story is true, but I'm just saying that it does put a target on people's head. And Sanders, for the longest, that white supremacy is a hoax. It is. Okay. And I could tell you, it's very simple to tell you why.
And white supremacy is a hoax. And yeah, blacks are just making it up. Man.
I know white supremacy is a hoax. You could just look at the, okay, and I could tell you, it's very simple to tell you why I know white supremacy is a hoax. You could just look at the FBI numbers, okay? More black people kill white people every year rather than the other way around, okay? There are less Black people in this country, which means that that would be a hoax. Okay, that means that white supremacy is not a relevant thing. And I know you're like, oh, you're just you're doing it because of white people. You want no, I'm doing it because I want Black people to wake up. I want them to wake up that they are weaponizing your skin color against you. You're like political pawns. Okay. And I know I haven't shown you guys the clip on what's happening. So we're going to go ahead and shoot.
She thinks this is how dumb this woman is. Everybody that criticizes white folks, she believes that you're a Democrat. That's how foolish this woman is. Any Black person that criticizes white folks, she'll throw you in a Democrat category. Now, a lot of our people are Democrats, but I'm for damn sure ain't no Democrat. I'm not a Republican, no Democrat, no conservative, no liberal. I don't identify with none of that stupidity. I'm an independent thinker. But if you're critical of white folks' behavior, or if you call white folks racist, she will call you a Democrat. Well, we're going to call you an airhead and a bed wrench. That's the category that you fall in, lady.
To the press conference with Kash Patel explaining exactly.
I don't know why any Black man would want anything to do with her. She is fit and built for a white man. I don't know why any Black man would find this woman attractive. She is foolish. She's the enemy to Black progress. She's the enemy to Black men. This woman is trying her best to become the next Candace Owens.
Exactly what is happening right now. So let's go ahead and listen to Kash Patel.
Here today is to announce what the general just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive, sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just want to talk about a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups for a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups. I just want to say that again. They used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed violent extremist groups. The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America.
She's going to defend all of this. See, the thing is, she looks better than Candace Owens, though. See, some of you guys are going to fall for it because she's a decent looking woman. So some of you guys will look past the fact that she's an airhead, and you might want to date her because she's attractive and she has, she's pretty when she dressed up. So some of you guys are going to look past the fact that she's an airhead and a bed wrench, and you're going to pursue her because you think that she's attractive, right? So yeah, unfortunately, let's get back to the content.
And also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses, totaling over $3 million. Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the Southern Poverty Law Center, on top of perpetuating this widespread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud, conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network. They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud.
Well, unfortunately, Cat 6, most men are simps. Most white men are simps. Most Black men are simps. Most men in general are simps, right? Most men don't think like me. Most men will ignore red flags from a woman if she's pretty. Oh, I'm going to say it again. The majority of men will ignore red flags on a woman if she's pretty or if he wants to sleep with her. The majority of men will do that. That's the problem right there. That's why we have so many bird brains in our community, because in their mind, well, men still want me, so there's nothing wrong with me because men still want to date me. They think because men want to sleep with them and date them that somehow there's nothing wrong with them. Not enough men hold them accountable.
This is a serious and egregious violation of a group that purported to dismantle violent extremist groups, but in turn actually only fueled the hatred. This is an important case brought by President Trump's administration.
Okay, so I've been seeing a lot online, a lot of different commentary about this online. I particularly have my own take on this. I think that this is a way to see division in our country. It's a way to keep people stuck. I don't think this is about like racism at all. I think this is probably more quote woke right, as like, oh, they're getting paid, and it's this the classic accuse them of what you're doing type thing, right? So they're accusing, and I'm not saying Cash Patel in this moment, I'm saying on the internet, online, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and all these people and accusing them of being paid by these type of organizations, which I think is just a disservice to everyone to do this. Like, you would blame these people, but not talk about the people that were receiving the 7K. I personally know someone that told me out of their mouth that they were getting $7,000 to post before they even talked about this whole 7,000 thing. So it is a thing that is happening, but we don't want to address the actual issues. We want to put it on Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, people who were actually America First patriots. We want to blame them and not put it on, you know, the people who are
defending Nick Fuentes, right? You know this woman is an idiot. She defended Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is America First. Make America great again, huh? Nick Fuentes is a great example of being American, huh? When you thought this woman couldn't get any more dumb than this. Nick Fuentes is America First. Man, Nick
actually running the organization, the people that are actually trying to see division within our country, who's trying to get white to hate black and black to hate white, Democrat to hate Republican. That is the problem.
This country was built on racism, lady. What are you talking about? Nobody has to convince white people to hate blacks. That's a part of American history. The country was literally built on white supremacy. So nobody has to trick white folks into hating blacks. They've been hating black folks for centuries, you fool.
Okay, and they have to blame.
Okay, you're gonna first blacks and hate whites, and whites and hate blacks. Yeah.
Them and not put it on, you know, the people who are actually running the organization, the people that are actually trying to see division within our country, who's trying to get white to hate black and black to hate white, Democrat to hate Republican. That is the problem, okay? And they have to keep this going. They have to keep it going in order to make money, but also to have power, political power. This is a whole like way to get people to vote a certain type of way. They use this to like Joe Biden used this, and he was like, you know, Donald Trump said there were very fine people on both sides, but then you have this organization that is actually planning the Charlottesville rally. Like, can we like really talk about that, how they planned these protests?
And this is what's crazy. You're not no videos of her calling out racist white people for the things they do. And if you do, she's going to say, well, blacks do this. She can never make a video where she's just holding white people accountable. She's going to make it seem like, well, black and white people, we both need to do this. She got tons of videos criticizing black folks, but she has no videos to where she's going to double down and just hold white folks accountable for what they've been doing. You're not going to find no videos on her channel doing that. This woman is a white. She kisses the behind of the white community 100%. She has no criticism for them. Zero.
And what trickled down after that, Joe Biden becoming president because he used this talking point. And it's just like
She sound like Cynthia G. You know how Cynthia G sound nasally? Yeah, and black men, and black men. She sound like Cynthia. Make sure that you guys bless that like button. Get the numbers up for your boy.
They've been doing this for so long. The Democrats, yes, the Democrats have. I actually think that this is something that is used on both sides. Right now, the Republicans are in office, so we're not going to get a lot of like what the Republicans are doing, but like I think that they're using this to take America. That this is how they're toppling our country from the inside out. White supremacy is one of the biggest topics, and it is a hoax. Okay, you guys understand that it is a hoax. Okay, there are no white supremacists, and I'm not saying zero. Okay, one white supremacist, like
there's no white supremacists, and white supremacy is a hoax. Black people, the fact that we got people that are this dumb in our community is terrible for our progress. She said there's no white supremacists. So the Klan don't exist. The Aryan Brotherhood don't exist. The Noble Knights don't exist. The Southern Brotherhood don't exist. The Unforgiven, that's another white. I mean, the list goes on and on. I can keep naming them. Pinochle, that's another white supremacist organization in Southern California, Orange County to be exact. You know, you got white supremacists in office, white supremacists who are politicians, but according to her, white supremacy doesn't exist. It's simply a hoax. My God, I don't see, listen, this is what's crazy. The fact that she has subscribers and listeners is amazing. It is mind-boggling. This woman is foolish. Nobody this foolish should have subscribers.
they've been doing this for so long. The Democrats, yes, the Democrats have. I actually think that this is something that is used on both sides. Right now, the Republicans are in office, so we're not going to get a lot of like what the Republicans are doing, but like I think that they're using this to take America. That this is how they're toppling our country from the inside out. White supremacy is one of the biggest topics, and it is a hoax. Okay, you guys understand that it is a hoax. Okay, there are no white supremacists, and I'm not saying zero. Okay, one white supremacist, like a single white supremacist, I don't even know if you can call that a white supremacist if you have to find a whole bunch of people to sign up for white supremacy. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, the same thing with Jussie Smollett. What happened? He had to do this like false flag thing to make it look like Chicago is racist. They're throwing noose around people's necks and throwing bleach on them. It's just completely untrue. And you'll have these people tell you that you should not believe your eyes, like that you could see that is just unnatural. It's something that's definitely like not realistic, and they wanted us to just believe the hoax. And that's why I'm telling you that if you have to get people to do white supremacist stuff to get people to believe in it, then it's just not real. Okay,
You heard what this bird brain said. We have to do stuff to make people believe that white supremacy exists. Study this country and you will realize that white supremacy exists. Anybody who's being honest knows that they have white supremacist organizations. Have you ever heard of skinheads? The Nazis, listen, I did a live stream about the Nazis marching in Tennessee. The Nazis were just marching in Tennessee. The Nazis marched in Ohio, and them brothers came out there to wreck shop, came down there to give them the business. You had Nazis marching in different countries. Nazis was marching in different states across the country. But this buffoon sat up there and said that they don't exist. White supremacy don't exist. White folks are not racist. It is simply a hoax. I don't see how a woman this foolish could have subscribers. It's just crazy. Well, white people want to hear this, right? You're pandering to white people. So I guess you got a whole bunch of Sambos, mainly white people, supporting this message. Because white people want everybody to believe that white supremacy don't exist. So she's catering to that white audience. You tell those blacks that white supremacy don't exist. You tell those blacks to stop complaining. She's the microphone for white supremacy. Clearly, she's the microphone for white supremacy, trying to convince you that racist white folks and white supremacists clearly don't exist. It is a hoax.
it is just not real. Let's listen to. You can see that is just unnatural. It's something that's definitely like not realistic, and they wanted us to just believe the hoax. And that's why I'm telling you that if you have to get people to do white supremacist stuff to get people to believe in it, then it's just not real. Okay, it is just not real. Let's listen to what Doug Jones had to say about this, because he's going to call it like a witch hunt, essentially. Let's go ahead and take a listen. All right, guys, I'm just jumping in here just to let you guys know that I am completely independent, and if you want to support the channel.
Well, what I'm saying is this, brothers. What I'm saying is this. You said she bought subs. No, when you talk like this, you don't have to buy subs. White people will support black people who make content like this. So she ain't got to buy subs. White folks will come out in droves to support a black person that's talking like this. She is Candace Owens 2.0. So when the white folks hear this, they like, oh my God, we're going to flock to this. A black person calling their people out and denying white supremacy. White folks going to eat this up.
You can hit the super thanks or the buy me a coffee link below. You can also just like, comment, or hype the video. It really does help. Let's go ahead and get back into the show.
The indictment that was returned against the Southern Poverty Law Center is just simply outrageous. This is not the pursuit of justice. This is pure political retribution. This is a Trump administration going after anyone who might oppose them, not just as a tax-exempt organization, but just seeking criminal charges against an organization, the Southern Poverty Law Center, that has been around for 55 years and done remarkable work, seeking justice on behalf of individuals and communities who cannot seek that justice themselves, that do not have that resources. The Southern Poverty Law Center has been there consistently with those voices, with the legal arms.
Exactly, Virgil. The Nazis tried to march in Ohio, and them brothers went down there to give them the business. Nazis was marching in Tennessee just last year. These are white supremacists, stone cold white racists. And a lot of these skinheads and white supremacists work for your local police department, work for your local sheriff department. They got a whole white supremacist gang in the LAPD, the LA County Sheriff. A bunch of racist rednecks who are white supremacists that can't stand black folks, that patrol black communities to harass people, put false charges on them. I'm not saying that black folks don't commit crimes, because of course we do. But at the same time, you got a lot of these white supremacists who become police officers and they patrol black communities to get us locked up on bogus charges. That is a fact.
Example, back in 1981, a lynching that occurred in Mobile, Alabama. Michael Donnell was lynched, and it was the Southern Poverty Law Center who represented that family.
Okay, he's giving me black people. He's behaving like a nigga. If you guys go back to 1981 to say what the Southern Poverty Law Center is doing, they're probably not doing.
She is annoying. I don't know how you can deal with this woman long enough to even listen to her talk. She is annoying.
Black people, he's behaving like a nigga. If you guys go back to 1981 to say what the Southern Poverty Law Center is doing, they're probably not doing much, okay? You should have all type of things that you can name that is recent. You should have to go back to 1981 to prove.
Well, let me tell you guys something. White people will support a black person more than a black person that speaks for black people. In most cases, you have your exception to the rule here and there. You know, we don't have to go back to 1981. There was lynchings recently. Did you see what those police officers did to those brothers in Mississippi? They tied them up. They tortured people. These were stone cold racist white supremacists who work for the local police department. Did you see that white boy in Buffalo, New York, who went to Tops grocery store that unalived 10 black people for no reason because he was a white supremacist and he just wanted to eliminate black people? Have you heard of Dylan Roof in Charleston, South Carolina in 2015? Walked into a church full of church-going people who prayed to God on Sunday. This white supremacist walked into that church and unalived 10 innocent black people. This was a white devil. Jacksonville, Florida, 2023, a white supremacist walked into a Dollar General in the black community and unalive like 4 or 5 people at random. Didn't know him, never had an issue with him. They never seen this man a day in his life. When they read his notes and they looked at his social media profile, he was a stone cold white supremacist. He wanted to unalive black people just for the hell of it, just because he woke up and felt like doing it. This idiot says that white supremacy don't exist. Look at this bubblehead broad, man.
Nigga, if you gotta go back to 1981 to say what the Southern Poverty Law Center is doing, they're probably not doing much, okay? You should have all type of things that you can name that is recent. You should have to go back to 1981 to prove that, you know, this is a legit organization that is doing legit things, but they can't tell you the things that they're doing. That's why they have to go back to 1981 so they can, you know, spark like, oh, they cared about us. Like,
how you gonna say white supremacy don't exist, but yet you're defending it? You defended white supremacy this whole video, something that you claim doesn't exist.
this is like, Black people are the biggest tools in this country. We're used like tools. And the thing that I see is that this is ultimately, they're trying to get to white people, okay? As much as you think like, oh, white supremacy, you associate that with racism, I associate it with anti-Semitism, okay? A lot of the white supremacists that supposedly hate Black people, they also are anti-Semites. So it's like they are trying to sow division between white and Black people and the right and the left because of this anti-Semitism. It seems more to be about anti-Semitism than it is about actual.
White people didn't support Ashley Janae because they don't want to see that white man go to jail. See, white people don't go to jail for supporting Carmen JC. But if white people would have supported Ashley Janae, that will send a white man to jail, and that's the last thing that white folks want to see. She spent all of her time in this video defending white supremacy while claiming it doesn't exist.
Racism, okay? And it's a way of control that they're doing this. They want us to be divided. They want us to hate each other so they can take our country. And I don't know who they is. Don't ask me who they is. But I said what I said, okay? This is about Black people, separating Black people and white people, the true Americans in this country, the people that have been here the longest, okay? Same thing with the Great Replacement. It is all the same things. These are all the same people that are doing this because they are trying to attack us from the inside out. Now, I want you guys to take a listen to some of the news coverage from 2017 when these riots were actually happening. And I want you just to look at how they were covering this because it kind of paints this picture of how we are where we are now. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
It was a weekend of street battles and stark displays of racism, exploding into a deadly act of domestic terror. Tonight, we examine the hateful groups that now appear to be banding together. Why are they now emerging from the shadows, emboldened and growing in numbers?
Hate no longer hides behind hoods. This was the scene in the liberal college town of Charlottesville, Virginia on Friday, reminiscent of images from a dark American past.
So this is a racist rally and we should name it as such. I'm less interested actually in the rally and more interested in how this rally functions.
I could see from my office here in New York City how this was building. This was not just predictable, but predicted.
Well, the most striking thing is how well organized it was. There was people doing crowd control. There were people dropping people off at specific.
I'm gonna show you videos of white supremacist officers in Mississippi, and this just happened 2 years ago. We ain't got to go back to the 1960s. I'm gonna show you something that happened in Mississippi 2 years ago. How racist white supremacists join law enforcement and they do harmful things to the Black community and Black folks in general. I'm gonna show you the video right after this. But according to this airhead, white supremacy doesn't exist. It is a hoax.
Specific locations, there was security. There were people handing out extra tiki torches. Everyone who was there knew exactly what they were signing up for.
I'm joined now by Mark Potok, a former senior fellow at the Southern Poverty Law Center.
I think that this is a new generation of racists who, as Carol and Leonard both have suggested, were in large part created by Donald Trump and others like Donald Trump.
Now, I disagree with blaming it on Donald Trump. White supremacy existed way before Donald Trump even thought about becoming the president, right?
Okay. They made this about racism. There's a new generation of racists. And like I said, this couldn't be further from the truth. I've been saying even before we found this report or that racism is just not a big deal in this country. If anything, Black people are extremely racist to white people. I just don't think
Black people are extremely racist to white people. Name a time in this country to where Black folks oppress white people. White folks never had to live under Jim Crow laws. Black people did. Black people was enslaved in this country for over 3 centuries. It never happened to white people. But according to this idiot, Black folks are racist towards whites. But whites who did all this lynchings and unalivings, I just gave you 3 cases that happened within the last 10 years. 10 Black people at a grocery store, Tops grocery store. He did it just because they were Black and for no other reason. They never seen this guy, never had an encounter with him. That happened in 2023. Dylan Roof in 2015 went into a Black church, unalived a bunch of innocent Black people, 10 of them. Another white supremacist in 2023 walked into a Dollar General, Jacksonville, Florida, opened fire on random Black people because he was a white supremacist and he hated Black folks that much. When they found his social media platform, when they found his social media profile, he said that he was a racist and a white supremacist, and he just wanted to unalive Black folks just for the hell of it. But according to this idiot, Black folks are racist towards white people. We're the racists.
Part created by Donald Trump and others like Donald Trump.
See, this is what I'm saying. We need more people to bless that like button. We over here spitting this real game, dropping this ism, knowledge and wisdom, and we ain't got enough Black folks blessing that like button. If a Sambo can pander to white people and get their support when I'm speaking for Black people, why do I got to keep telling my people to bless the like button? That is ridiculous. Shouldn't have to tell y'all to bless the like button. Shouldn't have to tell you to share the content. That should come automatically.
Okay. They made this about racism. There's a new generation of racists. And like I said, this couldn't be further from the truth. I've been saying even before we found this report or that racism is just not a big deal in this country. If anything, Black people are extremely racist to white people. I just don't think racism is a big deal. And just think about like Shiloh Hendricks. I always felt that the Shiloh Hendricks and the other girl, the Cinnabon lady that was saying nigga to the Somali and the Somali boy, I always thought those were psyops to make people like this. It just creates more tension between white and Black people.
You see how she goes out of her way to not hold white people accountable? The Shiloh Hendricks called that child an N-word, a child, and she didn't have a problem with it. She said it was a psyop. It was just a smoke screen to get Black people and white folks to hate each other. She never has any smoke for white people. She don't want to listen. She's going to go out of her way to not hold white folks accountable for anything. She just downplayed the Shiloh Hendricks. She didn't talk about none of these mass shootings where white supremacists made Blacks the target just for being Black. She's not going to say anything about that.
It's about racism. There's a new generation of racists. And like I said, this couldn't be further from the truth. I've been saying even before we found this report or that racism is just not a big deal in this country. If anything, Black people are extremely racist to white people. I just don't think racism is a big deal. And just think about like Shiloh Hendricks. I always felt that the Shiloh Hendricks and the other girl, the Cinnabon lady that was saying nigga to the Somali and the Somali boy, I always thought those were psyops to make people like this. It just creates more tension between white and Black people. And that is the distraction that they need to take this country. Okay. As long as we're not coming together, we are basically distracted. We are basically letting them take our country. Okay, they're important immigrants here. Okay, they're letting all these people commit crimes and they're letting them out. And it's not just the liberals who is doing this. Think about Rosa Parks. Okay, Rosa Parks, that was another psyop that was orchestrated. Okay, Oliver Brown, another psyop. Norma McCorvey, another psyop. Okay, and the
but Black people support Anton Daniels, bro. Black people support Anton Daniels. Most of her followers are MAGA people. Anton has a large following from the Black community that support his Samboism. So that says a lot about our people. They'll support Sambos more than real ones in our community. The fact that he has a large black following says a lot about our people. If you listen to Anton's content, all he does is make excuses for white folks. He won't hold white people accountable for nothing. He makes tons of excuses for their blatant racism, and black people still support his platform. So what does that say about our people?
Question is, who are in control of these psyops? Okay, that's what we should be asking ourselves, because people don't want to say this. And Owen Schroyer, he actually had a really good take on this, because people are not going to point out like who's doing the thing. And I think it's important that we start to point out, like, okay, where is this coming from? Who is in control of the SPLC? Who's controlling it, right? And we're going to let Owen Schroyer go ahead and break this down for us. Let's take a listen.
But let's just call it as it is. Let's just tell the truth. Richard Cohen was the one running the Southern Poverty Law Center. Richard Cohen is Jewish. Now, you might say, well, why does that matter? Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but that's a fact. That is a fact. So when I see all of this stuff about, look what the left was doing, look what the left was doing to stir up anti-Semitism, the guy that ran it was Jewish. But you're going to leave that fact out, huh? Of course you are. It's not too convenient for your narrative. Kind of gives people like Nick Fuentes a little credence, doesn't it? Guess you don't like that. How many people, it's a genuine question, because for me it's zero. How many people have said the name Richard Cohen in the last 24 hours? Has a single one done it? And yet all of these MAGA commentators are going to sit here today and tell you, see, the left wing is causing the anti-Semitism on the right. The left wing is funding all of these right-wingers that aren't neocons and aren't loyal to Israel. The left wing is doing it. Name him. His name is Richard Cohen, and he's Jewish. So if your logic is that liberals want to infiltrate right-wing groups to make right-wingers look extremist, why can't you say, well, maybe Jewish people are infiltrating these groups to make certain people look extremist, or to make certain movements or groups of people look anti-Semitic or extremist, so they can come in on the back end and say, look at these haters, look at these anti-Semites. We need the DOJ. We need censorship. We need arrests. So you're okay when you can say, oh, it's liberals, it's left-wingers doing that. But, oh, if it's a Jewish person doing that, you're not allowed.
I felt like that was a valid point. I haven't heard anyone bring up the fact that the person that was running this is Jewish. Okay, they're talking about, oh, these were the people that were sparking anti-Semitism and racism on the right. These were the people that infiltrated this. Then we should talk about the person that was running it. I think that is only fair. And for me personally, Black people and Jewish people, we're intertwined all throughout history. I just told you about Rosa Parks and Oliver Brown, and even Norma McCorvey. I know she's not Black, but yeah, we're intertwined all throughout history. Okay, think about the rallies, the No Kings protests. Who is funding this? Okay, who is funding this? Think about all of the people that are paying.
You can't trust no group that's funded by Jews or white people. You just can't trust them. You know, you have no business trusting them, man. If you're funded by white people, then you're not organic. You're compromised, 100%. If your funding doesn't come from Black people, then you're compromised. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
A protester, who's paying them? Okay, it's just leftists. It's just the left. I don't know. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying I think we should start paying attention, because this, not, like I said, it's not just about racism. It also is about anti-Semitism. One thing about white supremacists, they're not only racist, they're anti-Semites. You know, and I think that is important. I think that's important, because the white supremacist term have been hijacked to make it about people who are anti-Semites. That's what it's really about. It's not about racism. Who cares if you're racist to black people, nobody cares. People are racist to black people all day online and nobody do anything. And I'm not saying racist like saying like racial slurs towards black people. I say racial slurs towards black people all the time and nobody cares. They don't care, but
I say racial slurs towards black people all the time, and yeah, no one cares. And people wanted to say that Joe McCann was a racist. He supported Black Lives Matter. Yeah. I use racist slurs towards blacks all the time, and no one cares.
about. It's not about racism. Who cares if you're racist to black people? Nobody cares. People are racist to black people all day online and nobody do anything. And I'm not saying racist like saying like racial slurs towards black people. I say racial slurs towards black people all the time and nobody cares. They don't care. But if I say racial slurs towards a certain group of people, people probably care. People would probably counsel me as a young lady that is in jail right now facing up to 15 years for something that she said about Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay. So I think these are fair questions to ask. And then like just think about what this have created. This one thing that they did that trickled down to other things. Let's listen to what Joe Biden said about this rally.
6 years ago, neo-Nazis marched out of a field in Charlottesville, Virginia, literally carrying torches and neo-Nazi flags. And what'd you hear? There are very fine people on both sides. President Trump had said, what do you think? He said, there are very fine people on both sides. He said there were, quote, very fine people on both sides. Donald Trump said, and I quote, there are very fine people on both sides. My God. That's what he said.
That's what he said. The very fine people hoax. It's what that feeble old fart ran on. Now it turns out that hoax was based on an even bigger hoax.
Now, the very fine people thing, I myself debunked this. Not that I wasn't the first person to debunk this. I debunked it on this channel because it was just so obnoxious that people were actually believing that Donald Trump said that there were very fine people on both sides, but they didn't play the part of the clip where he said not the neo-Nazis or the, I don't know if he said white supremacists. I don't want to misquote him, but he did make a distinction between what he was speaking about. And this was a big thing. And you can kind of see why now this is like relevant because they used this to get Joe Biden elected. Okay. And it is so treasonous to me. I think that this is beyond treasonous. And the fact that they're only being charged with fraud and not something else, I think is crazy. Like this is almost like domestic terrorism where they're trying to invoke violence and spark controversy and create white supremacists essentially. Because obviously when you see a big group of people that show up, you think like, oh, there's other people that think like me, and it's not. Like you could just see the mask over their face.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hold on 1 second, family. We got to fix this real quick. We got to take it back. Hold on 1 second. We got to refresh it. Hold on 1 second. I hate when this happens. I got to reboot it real quick, bro. We're going to reboot this, man, but stay in tune, right? You just got to reboot it, man. Give us another 2 minutes, but yeah, man, that mindset is a problem, man. It's a lot of people in our community that's talking like that, and they're making a whole lot of money, and they're getting popular. They're getting fame and popularity for talking like this all over social media. It's coming. It ain't uncommon to see our people talking like this, man. And, to say that white supremacy don't exist is just crazy, right? Because it does exist. The whole, this country was built on that. Literally, this whole country was built on that. White people got a head start for 4 centuries, a 4-century head start when it comes to building wealth in this country. That's just the reality of it, right? Now imagine you playing a basketball game with somebody, right? A basketball game is 4 quarters. You've been scoring points since the first quarter. You get into the fourth quarter, you start off with 0. They go to the fourth quarter with all the points that they scored since the first quarter. Now they're telling you, well, it's in the fourth quarter now, but we're on an equal playing field. You know, the rival team, listen, man, the rival team has 200 points. You scored 200 plus points, but none of your points matter. None of your points added up. You go into the fourth quarter with 0. They go into the fourth quarter with 200. They go into the fourth quarter with 200, telling you, hey, man, the playing field is equal now. You need to stop complaining. The playing field is equal now. They got a 3-quarter head start. None of the points that you scored counted. You go into the fourth quarter with 0. Now they got the nerve to tell you that the playing field is equal now that we're in the fourth quarter. Man, you're going to be looking like, man, please. Back at it. We back on the microphone, man. It's only going to be so long, for so long. We back on the microphone.
The mask over their face, and it's much like the ICE thing with the mask over their face. I'm starting to think both sides are they're just, I don't know if they're together or they're battling each other, but it just seems like a uniparty. It just does not feel like this is just separate. It seems like they are trying to do this like just to lead us somewhere and get us to feel or like they're trying to like shape our reality and how they want us to see things. So
YouTube been police in the comment section, man. You know, like I said yesterday, there was people making comments that wasn't disrespectful, had no profanity, you know, nothing disrespectful in the message, and YouTube was still blocking the messages. So I understand it's like they're playing with my numbers and they're blocking a lot of comments. That's what YouTube do. YouTube don't like me being on this platform, y'all. I got one of the most shadow banned channels on this platform. I'm telling you, 1 week we'll be at 1,000, 700, 809 viewers. Then it'll go back down to 200. They'll shadow ban the views and play with the numbers and then block a lot of you guys' comments. Let's get back to the content, though. It ain't going to stop us.
What they want us to think, oh, there's other people that think like me, and it's not. Like, you could just see the mask over their face, and it's much like the ICE thing with the mask over their face. I'm starting to think both sides are they're just, I don't know, if they're together or they're battling each other, but it just seems like a uniparty. It just does not feel like this is just separate. It seems like they are trying to do this like just to lead us somewhere and get us to feel or like they're trying to like shape our reality and how they want us to see things. So what they want us to think is that America is a racist country, and it's not. It's just not, okay? This is a great country. We let all type of people come here, and then these people complain about us, and they shit on us, and they steal from us, and they commit crimes, and we still let them stay. I don't get where the racism is. Like, we're trying to get them out the country, and I'm Black, and I want them out. But where is the racism? Why are you coming here if this is a racist country? And Alex Jones have been talking about the SPLC for a very long time. Let's look at this clip.
White supremacy is a global thing. It's not something that just took place here in the United States of America. It's a global thing. Go to Latin America. Look at how they praise whiteness in Latin America. That's white supremacy in other countries. Right? So it's not just, you know, it's not isolated to the United States of America. It's global. Right? And I'm not saying that Blacks can't be successful. You can still find ways to be successful. But to sit up here and ignore that white supremacy don't exist, now you're not being honest. You're lying through your fat teeth. You're telling a bold-faced lie if you want to say white supremacy don't exist.
Alex Jones.
Oh, Jesus! And they're about to have more of the Antifa go out. This is to embolden the Antifa to come out of their rat holes, to spill out like...
No, she said that she dates Black men. Tommy Sotomayor roasted her, I believe, like a month ago. She claims that she only wants to be with black men. She has a desire and a love for black men, but it's like, why would any black man that's worth the damn deal with a black woman who talks like this? Why would you want a woman who thinks like this raising your children? You would be a fool to plant a seed in this airhead. I understand why a white man would do it, but why would a black man do it? It doesn't make any sense. Her whole channel is defending white folks, defending white supremacy. That's what she does on her platform. If somebody calls a white person a racist, she'll make a video defending white people, telling you that you're wrong and you're just pretending to be a victim. Her whole channel is based on her defending white supremacy.
Like just fountains of roaches that spill out.
For a very long time, let's look at this clip of Alex Jones.
Oh, Jesus! And they're about to have more of the Antifa go out. This is to embolden the Antifa to come out of their rat holes, to spill out like just fountains of roaches, to spill out, attack more, and the media will cover it up, and then there's a response. They'll, oh my God, after years of killing white people and beating them and murdering them, a few people went and protested, so the Southern Poverty Law Center and others sent other people out in KKK outfits, and God Almighty, what are we going to do? And then they march everyone through the gauntlet to be beat up to start the whole thing, because they've done it over and over and over again because they think you're stupid.
They've done it over and over and over again because they think you're stupid, and that is what is happening. And they constantly do this on both sides, okay? They are doing this because they are shaping narratives, okay? They don't want you to believe reality. They want to tell you what reality is, and we need to see this, okay? This is why I talk so much about white supremacy, about anti-white hate. I speak so much about this because I see through it. I see what they're doing, and it is not about white or black people. This is more about anti-Semitism. I keep trying to say this. It's not about us, okay? They want our country. People want our country, okay? Don't know who those people are, but they want our country, and they're trying to take it down from the inside out. I will constantly.
Nah, bro, her whole channel is literally defending white supremacy. Her whole channel is about that. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making it up. She defends white supremacy like it's a full-time job.
Say this. Even Charlie Kirk was aware of this. Let's listen to what Charlie Kirk had to say.
They're literally putting high school chapters of ours on a hate group next to the KKK and next to neo-Nazi groups. And I mean, we can laugh this off. There's an element to this. Remember that there was a shooter that went to the Family Research Council years ago, inspired by the SPLC list. This is them trying to make us basically surrender at Turning Point USA. We're going to do the opposite, and our students are only going to lean in even more. But they can't debate us on our ideas. They cannot have dialogue. They cannot actually go onto the merits of why they are right or why we might be wrong. Instead, they must smear us with the age-old one-liner that you are a racist or that you are a hater. And they're finally realizing the power of Turning Point USA, which is why they put us on this list.
Well, when you're effective, you're a threat.
After Charlie Kirk was put on their watch list, he got shot. Well, they'll say things like, oh, Trump's targeting us. No. You know who cracked the case? The banks. Internal audit.
Okay. You see how that is a problem? Okay. And then they're just putting random people, Turning Point USA on this list. I believe Matt Walsh was on this list, just random people who they don't like. They're just labeling them. It's very dangerous for us, and it's fueling this left versus right. Like, I believe that people only hate the left or only hate the right because we are told to. That's why I don't hate the left. You know, I have more in common with people on the left than I do with illegal immigrants, than I do with people who are at the top. Okay, these rich, wealthy people, these people who are representing us, we have more in common with everyday American people. You don't see someone on the side of the road who's dying and be like, oh my gosh, are you a conservative or a liberal? No, you help them because you assume that they're an American, right? No, just because they're a person, not even because they're American, because they're a person. So, you know, I believe that us as Americans, we have more in common, and the whole idea is to separate us, is to get the liberals to hate the conservatives to hate the liberals, the whites to hate the blacks to hate the white. That has been the name of the game for a very long time. It has, okay? And people are taking advantage of us as a country, of us as a people, as the American people.
Somebody asked her if she's a divester. She said, I'm not a divester. I'm into black men. Now, she has the mindset of a divester, but when she was asked, does she prefer white men or black men? She says that she prefers black men, and she would like to have a black husband and some black children. That's what she said. But her mindset, when you listen to her, you're like, nah, she has the mindset of a damn divester. I don't give a damn what she said about wanting to be with no black men. I ain't buying it.
We are being taken advantage of, and they're trying to get us to hate each other, especially like when it comes to black people. Black people are a pawn in this country, and they use you for political gain. And they use you as bodies to go outside and protest, to back the very people who you're saying is white supremacists. Those are the people they're using you to back. The people that actually hate you is the people that they use you to back, and it sucks for us as black people. I want you guys to take a listen to this last exchange that happened on Fox, and then we can talk about it before we get up out of here. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
And it's
what
exposed.
Hate crime hoax?
The liberal goes, Justice Smollett, anyone?
No, I didn't
how about
say
the banana peel on the bench?
Yeah,
how about the
Walmart
noose
shooter
at the racetrack?
is a banana peel. What hoax have you actually seen here? You don't think that hundreds of people showed up at the Unite the Right rally that weren't this informant, that weren't persuaded by his vehicle that got them there?
Who was the informant?
I don't. What?
You don't know. Was it the leader? An informant is not a leader.
Do you think
it's also? I mean,
you think that's the white supremacists there? That it's not real?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Are you
All I know is I never heard of it until the day that it happened. You act like you can take the word for a bunch of corrupt people.
Proud Boys.
So you're saying this wasn't created. You're saying this just was an organic event, just like every left-wing event. It just happened. All these right-wingers showed up. Nobody else knew about it.
And you know what? Nobody people are real.
Nobody.
The white supremacists
You know
what?
Let me
call to action.
Let me do the simplest analogy. This is like when somebody says, on average, men are taller and way more than women. And then one woman goes, but what about her? And they point to a WNBA player. Yes, Jessica, I'll give you. There probably is a bigot somewhere, but you guys created a false flag that there was this immense movement going on in this country that then put targets on people like Charlie Kirk's back, and he's dead. And a lot of other people were either threatened, physically attacked because of a false flag, which painted an entire, basically, millions of people as white supremacists. You guys ran with it. Imagine if Trump had not won and Kamala Harris had won. Imagine where the SPLC would be now. Imagine how torn apart this country would be. And by the way, I hope that this thing mends, but I don't know, because there are people like you, Jessica, who have such a sunk cost in this belief that this is a belief you were tricked into believing, to think that there's all these racists hiding behind every Cracker Barrel. No, you know what the racists were? They were the anti-racist black activists who saw this as a way to go after whites.
I keep saying it's a white supremacy boogeyman. It does not exist, okay? There's no white supremacists in this country.
There's no white supremacists in this country. I told you, white supremacy doesn't exist.
They were the anti-racist black activists who saw this as a...
This woman has to be, hey man, the fact that she has, white people are going to support that, because if you say white supremacy don't exist and black people need to get their stuff together, a lot of white people will subscribe to your channel just based on the fact that you are a black person who is saying that. So a lot of her followers are white supremacists themselves. If you listen to her channel, she spends her channel is dedicated to defending white supremacy. So you know a lot of white folks going to sit up there and subscribe to her platform just based on that alone. Oh, she's telling black folks about themselves and she's defending white supremacy. She gained a ton of white subscribers doing that on her damn channel.
Way to go after whites.
I keep saying it's a white supremacy boogeyman. It does not exist, okay? There's no white supremacists in this country. Like I said, I started it telling you that Black people kill more white people in this country rather than the other way around. White supremacy can't exist under those circumstances. It just can't, okay? If white supremacy was a problem, they would be killing more Black people, okay? They are not. Okay, it's just not happening, and this is a political tool that is being used to scare people. Okay, to put fear in people's heart and to keep people angry and distracted and not looking at the people who are actually doing the thing to us in this country, who are actually bringing all of the immigrants over here and trying to replace Black people and replace white Americans.
I've been calling out. I call out the immigrants and the white supremacists. See, I agree with her on the immigrant thing, how they're bringing immigrants to replace Black people, but she won't call out white people for nothing. She won't call out white people if her life depended on it. She'll call out Democrats. She'll call out liberals. She'll call out the immigrants, but she ain't gonna call out white folks. She ain't gonna say nothing about white folks. She gonna defend white folks at all costs. She has nothing negative to say about the white community at all. Never.
Not actually looking at those, but it's being used under those circumstances. It just can't.
Activists who saw Errol, anti-race whites.
I keep saying it's a white supremacy boogeyman. It does not exist, okay? There's no white supremacists in this country. Like I said, I started it telling you that Black people kill more white people in this country rather than the other way around. White supremacy can't exist under those circumstances. It just can't, okay? If white supremacy was a problem, they would be killing more Black people, okay? They are not. Okay, it's just not happening, and this is a political tool that is being used to scare people. Okay, to put fear in people's heart and to keep people angry and distracted and not looking at the people who are actually doing the thing to us in this country, who are actually bringing all of the immigrants over here and trying to replace Black people and replace white Americans. We're not actually looking at those people, and that's what we should be paying attention to. I want to know what you guys think. I am Carmen JC. If you're new here, make sure you hit the like or the subscribe.
I told you she was an airhead, man. I told you she's a certified airhead. Look at this.
Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Thank you for joining us for our second half. 6 former law enforcement officers called the Goon Squad have received prison terms that add up to more than...
No, they were called the Goon Squad. These are Mississippi police officers. All they did was target Black people. This happened 2 years ago. We're not talking about the 1950s or the 60s. This happened 2 years ago. But according to her, there's no white supremacists in law enforcement. No, there's no such thing as white supremacy.
130 years from the feds. All have pleaded guilty to torturing 2 Black men during a racist assault. Prosecutors say the former officers called themselves the Goon Squad because of their tendency to use excessive force and then cover it up. In January, the officers, who are all white, raided a home without a warrant. They handcuffed 2 Black men they found inside, mocking, beating, and torturing them for more than an hour. That included the use of stun guns and sexual assault with a sex toy. The attack ended with one of the officers who shot one of the men in the mouth, injuring him critically. Their plea agreements call for prison sentences ranging from 5 to 40 years. My next guest has the reaction. And joining us on The Factor Uncensored to talk about this incredible story out of Mississippi.
Incredible story out of Mississippi. Hit the like button, family. Look.
Former Mississippi law enforcement officers who tortured and abused 2 Black men. They was behind bars. Faith Abubi has the story. Good morning, Faith.
Good morning to you, George. This was a shocking and disturbing crime perpetrated by the very people tasked with enforcing the law. Today, 2 more of the officers will be sentenced in the racially motivated attack that nearly killed one of the victims. This morning, 2 former Mississippi Sheriff's deputies sentenced for their role in the brutal and racially motivated torture of 2 black men. Deputy Hunter Elward getting 20 years. Lieutenant Jeffrey Middleton sentenced to 17.5 years. They're 2 of 6 officers who have pleaded guilty to federal felony charges. According to court documents, the officers, part of a group nicknamed the Goon Squad because of their willingness to use excessive force and not report it.
This goon squad has been operating without supervision.
In January of last year, the Goon Squad bursting into this home without a warrant after a white neighbor reported several black males for suspicious behavior. Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker placed under arrest in their own home without any evidence of a crime. Prosecutors say the officers then repeatedly tased the 2 men, calling them racial slurs, beating and even sexually assaulting them over the course of 90 minutes. Investigators say the 6 officers conspired to cover up their actions, even planting a gun at the scene. And as
there was no crime committed, there was no search warrant. The Goon Squad was known for going around torturing, assaulting, and arresting black people on false charges. This is a group of white supremacists who became sheriff deputies in Mississippi. I have many more examples just like this, but according to that airhead, Carmen JC, white supremacy don't exist. Black folks are just complaining.
he lay there bleeding. Prosecutors say the officers then repeatedly tased the 2 men, calling them racial slurs, beating and even sexually assaulting them over the course of 90 minutes. Deputy Elward shooting Jenkins in the mouth. And as he lay there bleeding, investigators say the 6 officers conspired to cover up their actions, even planting a gun at the scene and pretending to seize drugs from the victims, leading to them being falsely charged.
Can you imagine the abject terror those 2 victims must have felt?
Tuesday, Elward apologizing to the victims.
I feel like you did exactly what you did.
And Deputy Elward did apologize to the victims yesterday as he was being sentenced, but only one of the victims, not the one he shot, says he has forgiven him. As these officers are being sentenced on the federal level, they are still awaiting sentencing on state charges and are staring down a $400 million civil rights lawsuit. Michael?
Faith, we know you got that covered for us. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they said it don't exist. Well, no, white supremacy don't exist. Black folks just need to stop complaining. Stop complaining. White supremacy don't exist. You blacks are just making up excuses. White people are nice. They're not doing anything to you.
Officers involved in the Jenkins and Eddie Parker case pled guilty to a host of civil rights violations. 12 News' Tia McKenzie has been following this story. She brings us an update now. Tia, what can you tell us?
Melanie, all eyes are on Mississippi after the U.S. Department of Justice announced guilty pleas for the 6 officers involved in the January abuse case. Those charged in the case are former Rankin County deputies Christian Dedman, Hunter Elward, Brett McAlpin, Jeffrey Middleton, and Daniel Opdyke, as well as former Richland police officer Joshua Hartfield. Back in January, the 6 men who referred to themselves as the Goon Squad because of their use of excessive force and failure to report it, raided a Braxton home. During the incident, they assaulted Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker with a sex object, beat them, and used their stun guns repeatedly over a 90-minute period. The 6 men used racist slurs against Jenkins and Parker during the raid. Court documents show the officers went there because a neighbor had complained that black people were staying with the white woman who owned the home.
They tried to burn clothes that these victims were wearing while they were tortured with liquids, alcohol, stun guns. When they couldn't burn those clothes, they just discarded them. They even went to the point of searching for shell casings. Having found one of the 3 shell casings, they discarded it in a field, never to be found. Even discussing the possibility of using a drop gun a gun to plant so that they can claim justifiable shooting. I was about to say homicide, but I'll leave it at shooting. Thank God he did live. Having decided against the drop gun, they took the BB pistol that they had used in their endeavors to sexually assault these victims and planted it by the victim, who was shot, lying on the floor, bleeding.
Late this afternoon, Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fish announced her office would file state charges against the 6 men. And the Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey said in a statement, the badge worn by so many has been tarnished by criminal acts of these few individuals. Based on the facts in their guilty pleas, all former deputies lied to me the night of the incident. Federal marshals took the 6 officers into custody Thursday, and a judge said that the men will be sentenced in mid-November. Live in Jackson,
So they planted drugs on these dudes, didn't have no search warrant, beat them, tortured them, sexually assaulted them, and tried to make it seem like these guys was criminals and they had a probable cause to do what they was doing. These are clearly white supremacists who became sheriff deputies in the state of Mississippi. Now, I'm going to take you guys to the Buffalo mass shooting. I'm going to take you to the Buffalo mass shooting. This happened 3 years ago. We're not talking about something that happened in the 1960s or the 50s. This happened 3 years ago. Check this out.
Authorities say the alleged shooter planned it all. It started around 2:30 Saturday afternoon in the parking lot of this Tops Friendly Market store in a predominantly black neighborhood in Buffalo. The alleged shooter wearing full body armor and tactical gear, targeting people of color. Zanetta Everhart's 20-year-old son, Zaire Goodman, worked at Tops and was helping an older woman with her groceries in the parking lot. He was shot in the neck, but the bullet didn't cause major damage.
I've protected him his whole life from the ills of the world. And here we have a man, a terrorist, who came into my community, into our neighborhood. Yeah. That's hard. That's hard.
Now, this white supremacist walked into this grocery store and just shot black people for no reason, just based on the fact that they were black. And he was a white supremacist. They found his social media profile. He had a manifesto. He had notes saying that he was going to unalive black people because he was a white supremacist and he hated black folks so damn much. Now, they're going to make it seem like he was a lone wolf. No, he belongs to a white supremacist group. So, no, he was no lone wolf. Throw that out of the window.
The woman he was helping was killed right in front of him. Neighbors watched it all in horror.
There's a whole lot of shooting. It was just rapid. Just one after just kept going. And next you know, we came outside and it was just packed full of people. We saw, dead bodies. They were covered up.
In all, 13 people were shot. 4 were store employees. 10 died. Aaron Salter was a father of 3 and a Buffalo police officer for 30 years. Tonight, he's being hailed as a hero. For the last 4 years, he worked as a security guard at the Tops. Salter tried to stop the gunman.
Fired multiple shots, struck the suspect, but because he had heavily armored plating on, that bullet had no round. The suspect engaged our retired officer, and he was ultimately shot and deceased at the scene.
He worked over 20-something years as a Buffalo police officer and lost his life at Tops. Disgusting to me.
Another who died, 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield, who had stopped at the store after caring for her husband at his nursing home. After all the carnage, the alleged shooter threatened to take his own life, but then dropped his gun and surrendered to police. Saturday, he was charged with first-degree murder and pleaded not guilty.
The lone gunman, armed with weapons of war and hate-filled soul, shot and killed 10 innocent people in cold blood.
Today, raw emotion pouring onto the streets.
People just wake up and come kill us whenever they feel like it, and that's not okay.
We cannot allow this to destroy us. We cannot allow this. We cannot allow those people that are upset and mad about what happened to try to take their own vengeance either.
a community united in grief.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's.
So I'm gonna show you another one in Jacksonville, Florida. Now listen, check it. He was a white guy. They asked him. Check this out. I'm gonna go to the next clip. The shooter appears in court, right? Check this out. This was a white boy, a young white boy.
Chaos breaking out in
Look, this is the white boy who unalived the men and black people in Buffalo, New York. The family members tried to attack him. Check it.
Chaos breaking out in the courtroom early on as a man lunges at the shooter. Peyton Gendron, followed by shouts and sobs as deputies restrained him, and Gendron was removed. Victims murdered in a racist attack inside this Buffalo supermarket finally get their chance to confront the gunman who killed their loved ones.
I will hurt you so bad. You have made me sick. You got my family crying. I miss my sister every day.
19-year-old Peyton Gendron admitting to killing 10 innocent people at a top supermarket last May. Gendron even live streaming part of it, motivated by hate and white supremacy. In November, he pleaded guilty to 15 charges.
He said he did it motivated by hate and white supremacy. He was a white supremacist. He hated black folks. So he unalived 10 innocent black folks just based on the fact that they were black and for no other reason. It's a proven fact that he was a part of a white supremacist group. He carried out this racially motivated attack. He's a self-proclaimed white supremacist. He had a manifesto. He had notes. He had a diary talking about how much he hated black folks and how he belongs to a white supremacist group. And he just wanted to eliminate black folks. Any chance he got, he just wanted to eliminate black folks. So he went to Tops grocery store in a predominant black community, Buffalo, New York. He saw an opportunity and he unalived a bunch of innocent black folks just based on the fact that he hated black people so much. But according to Carmen J.C., white supremacy don't exist. There's no such thing as white supremacist groups. The Ku Klux Klan don't exist. The Aryan Brotherhood don't exist. White nationalists who are white supremacists don't exist.
And even live innocent people at a top supermarket last May. Gendron even live streaming part of it, motivated by hate and white supremacy. In November, he pleaded guilty to 15 charges, including murder and domestic terror motivated by hate. The first time prosecutors have charged that crime in New York State. It carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison.
Do I hate you? No. Do I want you to die? No. I want you to stay alive. I want you to think about this every day of your life.
After the victims' families had their say, the convicted killer made a statement and offered an apology.
I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones. I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May 14th. I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black.
He just said it. He said, I shot and killed people because they were black. And guess what? You had black people who forgave him. Black people who forgave him. He said it. I'm a white supremacist. I shot these black people just for being black and for no other reason. He admitted it.
I'm very sorry.
I want you to
I want you guys to listen to what he had to say. I ain't going to say nothing. Check it out. Clip it.
die? No. I want you to stay alive. Hate you? No.
Of life
you should hate him because he hate you because you're black.
In prison.
Do I hate you? No. Do I want you to die? No. I want you to stay alive. I want you to think about this every day of your life.
After the victims' families had their say, the convicted killer made a statement and offered an apology.
I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones. I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May 14th. I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did it.
Some of those who lost loved ones say they don't want to hear it. Others say it won't change anything.
She was a beautiful girl. I have been profoundly changed.
The blatant racism and calculated planning that went into last summer's shooting rocked the nation. Officials say leading up to the carnage, Gendron visited the market twice to map out his plan. They also discovered a nearly 700-page online diary where he expressed his admiration for past mass shooters. And Gendron is facing more than 24 federal hate crime charges. He's due in federal court tomorrow. I'm in Buffalo, Jacqueline Lake, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Now I'm gonna go to another one, man. I got another case right here. This happened in happened in Jacksonville, Florida. There's another white supremacist. This was 2.5 years ago. Took place in Jacksonville, Florida. He went into a Dollar General in a predominant black community in Jacksonville, Florida, walked into the grocery store and unalived several black people out of pure hatred and for no other reason.
This morning we are learning more about 3 victims of a tragic shooting at a dollar store in Jacksonville, Florida over the weekend. Police say the attack was racially motivated. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette has the details.
The families that have lost someone.
A city in mourning. Residents of Jacksonville came together.
Police say the attack was racially motivated. CBS Jacksonville, Florida over the weekend. Police say the attack was racially motivated. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette has the details.
The families that have lost someone.
A city in mourning. Residents of Jacksonville came together for a prayer vigil after police say a white man gunned down 3 black people at a Dollar General store Saturday.
No more division. No more hate.
We are going to do what we need to do to make sure that evil does not triumph in the state of Florida.
Authorities say the gunman targeted 2 shoppers and a store employee because of their race. The victims were identified as 29-year-old Gerald Gallion, 52-year-old Angela Carr, and 19-year-old A.J. Lagur, who worked at the store.
It's not fair.
Gallion's relatives describe him as a great father to his young daughter, who never missed a beat.
I don't know how to tell her that her daddy's not coming back. I don't know how to tell her. I don't have the words.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office released this surveillance video of the suspected shooter, identified as 21-year-old Ryan Palmetter, wearing tactical gear and armed with a handgun and an AR-15 rifle that was painted with swastikas. Authorities say he opened fire on his victims inside and outside of the store before he shot and killed himself.
He wanted to kill black people. His writings
inside and outside of the store before he shot and killed himself.
He wanted to kill black people. His writings and his manifestos were the diary of a madman.
The sheriff said the suspect bought the guns legally but had been involuntarily.
See, he wrote a manifesto just like the Buffalo shooter wrote a manifesto, and it said how much they hated black people, how much they wanted to unalive them. Any chance they got, they'll unalive random black people because they hate them so much. I'm not making this up. He was a white supremacist. He belonged to a white supremacist group himself. He executed the game plan once he saw an opportunity to do it.
He shot and killed himself.
He wanted to kill black people. His writings and his manifestos were the diary of a madman.
The sheriff said the suspect bought the guns legally but had been involuntarily committed for a mental health examination 6 years ago. Before the shooting, police say the gunman was spotted at the historically black Edward Waters University. The FBI has opened a civil rights investigation. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to harm black people. He made it his goal to unalive black people. You see what I'm saying? This dude was a part of a white supremacist group. You know? Hit the like button if you haven't already. I don't be making this stuff up, homies. I be telling y'all what I know. Anyway, let's go, man. Bless the like button. It ain't nothing, man.
We take you right now live. T.A. Waters giving an update on the deadly triple shooting at the Dollar General store.
Surveillance footage showing the shooter's movements, both at the Family Dollar and at Edward Waters University. I'll be sharing portions of that video footage with you shortly. First, I would like to detail the complete timeline of the newly discovered information pertaining to the shooter's movements earlier on Saturday before he committed these atrocities.
So you have all these mass shootings. Dylan Roof shot up a church in Charleston, South Carolina, unalived 10 black people who was praying at church. He belonged to a white supremacist group. You got law enforcement who are white supremacists, sheriff deputies, police officers. They're part of white supremacist group. White supremacists have infiltrated law enforcement well over a century ago. Matter of fact, the whole country was built on white supremacy. So of course you're going to have white supremacists who are judges, white supremacists who are prosecutors, white supremacists who are police officers, sheriff deputies. It comes with the territory, baby.
On 8/26 of 2023, at 11:39 and 04 seconds, the suspect's vehicle was seen exiting Clay County. At 12:23 and 13 seconds, the suspect pulls into the Family Dollar located at 1282 Kings Road. At 12:24 and 15 seconds, the suspect exits his vehicle and enters the Family Dollar. At 12:29 and 54 seconds, the suspect exits the business and returns to his vehicle holding a small shopping bag and enters his vehicle. At 12:31 and 8 seconds, First Coast security vehicle enters the parking lot and parked in front of the business. At 12:31 and 20 seconds, the suspect exits his vehicle as FCS or First Coast security passes him and opens his rear hatch. Meaning, when I say his, I mean the suspect. At 12:32 and 35 seconds, the suspect removes what appears to be a small bag from the rear compartment, closes the hatch, and re-enters the driver's seat of his vehicle. At 12:36 and 43 seconds, the suspect opens the driver door but remains inside of his vehicle. At 12:38 and 43 seconds, the suspect stays in his vehicle and closes the door back. At 12:39 and 08 seconds, the suspect backs out and leaves the parking lot. Note, First Coast security is still in the parking lot when the suspect leaves. At 12:40 and 57 seconds, the suspect turns from Myrtle Avenue to eastbound on Kings Road. Now I'm going to show you portions of the video of newly discovered surveillance footage which captured the shooter's movements at the Family Dollar and at Edward Waters University. Also, I'm going to show you previously unreleased footage from inside Dollar General. This footage shows Jacksonville Sheriff's officers inside the store after the shooter had begun his rampage. We also believe once those officers got inside is when that suspect decided to kill himself.
See, he was such a coward that he unalived himself. He didn't want to do the prison time. He committed the crime, but he was afraid of doing the time. So he unalived himself after he unalived 3 innocent black people. Is it a? He walked in. And listen, when they found the manifesto, he said he wanted to unalive black people because he hated them so much. So he found a black community, walked into a Dollar General that was populated with black people and unalived random black folks for no reason. Well, just based on the fact that they was black. That was the motivation. That was the motivation in Buffalo. Dylan Roof in Charleston, South Carolina, his motivation was to unalive innocent black folks out of hatred for black people. Clearly, these guys were white supremacists. Dylan Roof was a part of a white supremacist group. This guy in Jacksonville, Florida was a part of a white supremacist group. The white guy in Buffalo, New York was a part of a white supremacist group. You had church bombings in Birmingham, Alabama. Now show me black men who went to a white church and said, I'm just going to unalive white people for being white. I'm going to walk into a white church and just unalive innocent white people. You don't see black people doing stuff like that. I'm going to walk into this grocery store full of white people and just unalive innocent white people. You don't see black folks doing that. Yeah, look at him. There you go.
That's the suspect there.
That's him. Look, he walked in right there.
That's the suspect there entering the store with a mask on his face.
Now I'm gonna show you the racist gangs within the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department and the LAPD. I'm gonna show you guys right now. Check this out.
Now to an alleged gang of sheriff's deputies within the LA County Sheriff's Department known as the Executioners. Their alleged tattoo depicts a skeleton in flames, an AK-47, and a Nazi-style helmet. Miriam Hernandez.
See, we got racist white, listen, we got white supremacists who joined the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff Department. These are white men from white supremacist groups who become police officers, then they terrorize the black community. Same thing that those racist white police officers did in Mississippi. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let you hear for you. We got a bunch of white supremacist gangs that work for the LAPD in Los Angeles.
Now to an Eyewitness News investigation. An alleged gang of sheriff's deputies within the LA County Sheriff's Department known as the Executioners. Their alleged tattoo depicts a skeleton in flames, an AK-47, and a Nazi-style helmet. Miriam Hernandez has a closer look at the pressure mounting on the department to open their files on any groups like this.
From inside the Compton Sheriff Station, a deputy's claim filed with the county about an aggressive band of his cohorts allegedly in control. According to the claim, members are branded with a sinister logo,
which is a skeleton wearing a Nazi helmet with an AK-47 laughing,
and go by a sinister name, the Executioners, which according to the claim does not allow African American or female members. Deputy Art Gonzalez alleges the deputy gang is trampling on the rights of citizens and targeting him as a whistleblower.
Deputy Gonzalez, he's afraid for his safety right now, as he should be. This is a violent gang, violence, shootings, beatings.
Why y'all beating him? Claims of excessive force and much more, and the timing.
You see how he was, look, kneeing them. They already got him on the ground. Kicking him, kneeing him. He's subdued. He's no longer a threat. He's on his stomach, face down on the damn ground.
Violence, shootings, beatings.
Why y'all beating him? Claims of excessive force and much more, and the timing. As community outcry demands systemic change, allegations in the filing claim that as many as 40% of Compton deputies are inked executioners or prospects. Rumblings reaching the sheriff.
Well, first of all, there is no gang of any deputies running any station right now. This matter has already been receiving very swift administrative action. We've already taken positive steps.
Pressure for change is intensifying. Professor Sean Kennedy at Loyola Law School releasing a 2-year study of deputy gangs, including the Executioners.
Often, the inking is attached to some kind of act of violence, including a shooting. It's the ultimate expression of your commitment to policing and your commitment to the deputy gang.
The complainant, Deputy Art Gonzalez, is a former U.S. Marine decorated for his service in Iraq, Afghanistan. Here in Compton, once praised for speedy action to save a 4-year-old boy shot in the head. The tipping point? Gonzalez says he witnessed a deputy executioner assaulting a fellow deputy. Gonzalez called a confidential tip line for internal affairs. To his shock, he says in his claim, the recording was intercepted.
Is within 48 hours, a recording of his supposedly anonymous call was leaked to the gang at the station.
He also reports that graffiti appeared at the station entrance.
Art is a rat, and that was placed at the keypad to get into the parking lot. So that's the most visible place in the entire station.
Compton, a flashpoint for high-profile crimes. Recently, the armored SUV of rapper YG in the middle of a shootout. And an 18-year-old security guard, Andres Guardado, chased by 2 Compton deputies, shot 5 times in the back. Evidence of the secret deputy pack emerged in the wrongful death shooting case of Dante Taylor. Compton deputy Samuel Aldama forced to reveal his tattoo, saying that about 20 deputies at the Compton station have the same ink.
Skeletons, which is a symbol of death. There are flames on Aldama's tattoo, which symbolizes he's emerging from hell. There's an AK-47.
The Taylor family attorney put up huge billboards looking for potential victims. Aldama denied the group is a gang. The county settled for $7 million.
This is all taxpayers' money. So yes, the taxpayer should be very worried. Criminal defense lawyers are going to be lining up, making motions for new trials.
The Gonzalez claim alleges the executioners brokered a deal to amp up arrest numbers. Members of the public were stopped for minor infractions. According to the Loyola study, sheriffs over the last 5 decades have been unable or unwilling to dismantle the deputy gangs, and the money paid out to settle lawsuits when they are caught crossing the line.
The inspector general gave me a ballpark estimate based on just public information that it's at least $50 million. I think in reality, it's got to be much, much more.
Villanueva says he is the first sheriff to impose a policy forbidding such groups. The inspector general says today there is no evidence that the sheriff has pursued any house cleaning. The county's watchdogs want the sheriff's records on all deputy gangs and the names of all members. The sheriff says due process.
See, I've been telling y'all that we have white supremacists joining law enforcement. They've been doing it for LA. They've been doing this in LA for decades now. And in the 1960s, the 1950s and the 1960s in Los Angeles, what the LAPD did, they went to the deep South, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and found some of the most racist rednecks they could find and hired them to work for the LAPD so that they can control black communities. So imagine LAPD saying, no, we're going to go to the deep South and find some of the most racist rednecks we can find. And we're going to hire them on the LAPD and use them to patrol black communities. So you wonder why there was so much police brutality in Los Angeles. You went and hired a bunch of redneck white supremacists to become LAPD officers, and you hired them to patrol black communities. The same thing is going on today. The Executioners is a white supremacist gang within the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, the LAPD.
Laws paid out to settle lawsuits when they are caught crossing the line.
The inspector general gave me a ballpark estimate based on just public information that it's at least $50 million. I think in reality, it's got to be much, much more.
Villanueva says he is the first sheriff to impose a policy forbidding such groups. The inspector general says today there is no evidence that the sheriff has pursued any house cleaning. The county's watchdogs want the sheriff's records on all deputy gangs and the names of all members. The sheriff says due process laws protect deputies from such disclosure. As for Gonzalez now, he wants compensation for the years he had planned to serve, but now cannot.
Once you run afoul of the department and you blow the whistle on illegal conduct within the LA County Sheriff's Department, your career is over.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our Eyewitness News.
You know what they tell us when we talk about this, man? Blacks need to stop complaining. You need to stop pretending to be a victim, downplaying what we actually go through in our communities when we know that they're hiring white supremacists to become police officers to patrol our communities all over Los Angeles County. But when we talk about it, they say, you guys are just complaining. White supremacy don't exist. No, white supremacy don't exist. Black folks just need to quit complaining and pick themselves up by the bootstraps. That's what they say when they want to gaslight you, when they want to deflect. Man, white supremacy don't exist, man. Black folks just keep complaining. No, man. Oh, man.
Welcome back. Witnesses have testified under oath. At least 18 secret gangs are exerting power and influence in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I want to bring in Cerise Castle. She is a reporter who broke this story and wrote the first definitive history of LA's deputy gangs, as they're called. And John Sweeney, a civil rights attorney who has helped expose the violent gangs who have reportedly started to gather and cause a bit of a problem there for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Welcome to the both of you. Cerise, let me start with you. Explain how this is really working. These aren't real street gangs like the one percenters, the motorcycle clubs who are infiltrating the police. These are police co-opting their names and clubbing up amongst themselves and then exerting illegal influence, or what exactly is happening?
That's basically it. You've got it. And thanks for having me so much. And John, good to see you again. The way this works is that what will happen, and it's been going on for 50 years. So since the 1970s, when new deputies join the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, they are subjected to these gangs and are told that you can either join and participate in this sort of policing, or you can leave the department. The training starts very early on how this gang culture works and how it operates. All new recruits start working in the jails, and the jails are where some of the most notorious deputy gangs are working and operating. Some of the names of those groups include the 3,000 Boys, the 4,000 Boys, the 2,000 Boys, Posse, IPA, and a number of these groups also have white supremacist leanings, which is another element. There was just a study put out by Dignity and Power Now and the University of California, Los Angeles, that found that over half of the deaths that are occurring in Men's Central Jail, which is run by the Sheriff's Department and where those deputy gangs that I just mentioned function, over half of the deaths that they studied were marked as natural, but there was evidence of physical violence to the bodies. These gangs are notorious for beating people to death. We've seen it again and again in cases like John Horton. And this report just goes to show you that this is systemic, that these deputy gangs are viewing civilians as merely sort of like a plaything, I guess, and some sort of sick ritual to join these.
So that
these
it's a huge thing, you know, a very big claim to say that these police gangs are beating people to death, because that is, you know, that's an allegation of murder. I cannot substantiate that myself. I mean, that's a massive issue. John Sweeney, you know, if they all have these matching tattoos to show their affiliation with each of the various different gangs in these you know, alleged units in the LA County Sheriff, how is it not just really easy to identify them and say, hey, this is not allowed?
Well, that's the $64,000. That's a $64,000 question. The Sheriff Civilian Oversight Commission, which oversees the Sheriff's Department, has been asking the sheriff to help identify these gang members by asking them to reveal their tattoos and to identify them that way. So far, there has been tremendous pushback by the Sheriff's Department in doing that. The sheriff is saying that I can't invade their privacy by doing that, but there is case law cited by the Civilian Oversight Committee that gives the sheriff the authority to do that. Still, he's not doing it.
It's such an incredible story. I only have a minute left, and the reason that we're having a short segment tonight, and I'll apologize for you, is that we've got this breaking news of an escaped inmate who may have murdered 5 people and is still out in, you know, the public in Texas. So I apologize for it. We'll have to do an additional segment to find out more. But can you just tell me in about 10 seconds or less, Reese, if this is a problem only in LA or if this is a problem across the country?
I receive calls every day from police officers.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's one for Cerise.
Cerise, go ahead. Go ahead, Cerise.
I receive calls every day from police officers across the United States. I just spoke to a police officer in Houston this morning who asked me to come down to Texas and investigate the gangs that he is observing in his unit.
So there you have it. Okay, so I promise you, we want to do more on this segment, and if not for this breaking news, we would have been far more fulsome in.
See, they'll gaslight you. See, this is what white people do when they want to shut you up. Oh, you blacks need to quit complaining about racism. Slavery was over in the 1800s. Your blacks are still complaining about racism and slavery. That is a shaming tactic to get you to shut up, so that you won't expose the nonsense that they're doing today. They'll make it seem like racism don't exist today. Slavery was abolished in the 1800s. You black folks just need to quit complaining and pick yourself up by the damn bootstraps. So that's a shaming tactic to get you to shut up, so that you won't expose the nonsense that they're still doing today. Oh, blacks, you need to quit complaining. Racism doesn't exist. White supremacy doesn't exist. Slavery was abolished In the 1800s, that was over 200 years ago. Quit complaining. You blacks just need to quit complaining. White supremacy does not exist. White supremacy died when slavery got abolished. And that's the nonsense that they'll tell you. That is the nonsense sell you. Quit complaining. Deal with white supremacy. Don't say a word about it. Take it on the chin and just pick yourself up by the bootstraps, black folks.
Now to more on an eyewitness alleged sheriff's deputy gang that has branded its members the executioners. Today, city leaders in Compton say they're fed up. They're calling for a federal investigation. And as Carlos Granda reports, the mayor of Compton herself is speaking out about her own harrowing experience.
They terrorize the community and then they cover their tracks. It is unacceptable.
Is the Compton Sheriff Station being run by the executioners, a gang of rogue deputies with matching tattoos? Sheriff Alex Villanueva denied it last week, but today Compton's own mayor, Asia Brown, shared her own experience being pulled over by Compton deputies in June of last year.
And I rolled the window down and I asked, why was I being pulled over? Within seconds, almost 7 to 9 sheriff's deputy vehicles descended upon the scene. They ordered me out of my vehicle and they asked me to put my hands on top of the police vehicle so they can search me as if I were a criminal. Mind you, I was accompanied by my husband and my infant daughter in the back seat. I do not look like someone that is trafficking drugs. I was in my family vehicle.
Her baby crying, her husband and car search for drugs. Asia Brown says deputies let her go after they realized she is the mayor. But even after filing a complaint, Mayor Brown says she's received no satisfactory answers from the Sheriff's Department.
It's unacceptable. We will send a clear message to the LA County Sheriff's Department that you clean your house. You get your house in order, or we will surely help you do that. You have executioners, you have gangs in your own house.
News of the executioners came to light last week in a claim filed by Compton deputy Art Gonzalez. He says executioner deputies at the Compton Patrol Station celebrate shootings with tattoo parties, set illegal arrest quotas, and retaliated when he tried to blow the whistle. Compton community members say that sadly this is nothing new. Derek Cooper was arrested by Compton deputies last fall in front of the kids he leads in a youth academy.
I don't even know what I'm being arrested for. I was shipped in a bus down to, the county jail. I was so humiliated to be locked in a shower butt naked with over 200 men waiting to be processed.
Jermel Henderson, a successful restaurant owner and new father, pulled over at gunpoint and detained last month by a Compton sheriff's deputy.
Look, man, look. Hey, man, I want y'all to bless the like button. Let me give a shout out to the people who blessed the Cash App, man. Shout out to Kelvin for blessing us with a 10 on the Cash App. Shout out to Kay Blackman for blessing us with a 15 on the Cash App. Shout out to Tiffany for blessing us with a 20 on the Cash App. And shout out to Shelby for blessing us with a 25 on the Cash App. Get the love and support up for your boy. We diving right in. He ain't holding no punches. We ain't playing no games with him.
So humiliated. Down to, the county jail. I was so humiliated to be locked in a shower butt naked with over 200 men waiting to be processed.
Jermel Henderson, a successful restaurant owner and new father, pulled over at gunpoint and detained last month by a Compton sheriff's deputy.
She hopped out the car very aggressive with her gun drawn, like for no reason. I asked her why she's doing that. She said, "Oh, this is what we do in Compton," and it's horrible. It's horrible.
But time may be up for Compton deputies. City leaders say they're calling for a federal and state civil rights investigation, and they're exploring options to terminate their contract for law enforcement with the Sheriff's Department.
We demand justice from the Compton Sheriffs, and we will no longer continue to pay you $22 million and up to terrorize this community.
I'm Carlos Granda, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The LA County Sheriff's Department released a statement saying in part, quote, "We are aware of the allegations regarding Compton Station and have launched multiple investigations. Early on, the sheriff invited the FBI to conduct an investigation and information is actively being shared with them." Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
See, they say we're just complaining. Oh, you blacks need to quit complaining.
Oh, boys. They know better. I say these were just some new gangbanging cliques made up by teenagers would go. If you live in Los Angeles County, then you know that these are in fact gangs made by people with badges and qualified immunity from the law. Now, I ran across this fact, which has to be by far the scariest thing I've ever read while doing research for my last LA video. And when I first saw it, I was like, nah, that's cap. There's just no way. I grew up in the most corrupt city on this side of the planet, and I've never heard of anything like this. So I left it out knowing that if it was true, I'd have to make an entire video about it. And I still didn't want to believe it. Then I saw Channel 5 cover it, and I was like, nah, man, this cannot be true. That's when I did my own research, and per capita, Alaska, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Colorado see Los Angeles as a city is by far number one. And I said, okay, LA is more populous than any other city, so this would kind of make sense, right? Wrong. The New York City metro area has more people in it than the entire Los Angeles County, and New York still ranks lower than Phoenix and Chicago, both of which combined can fit inside New York City population-wise. In 2019, 8 deputies from the LA County Sheriff's Department filed a lawsuit against the Bandidos, a clique of over 20 police officers out of the East Los Angeles County Sheriff's Station, alleged that the Hispanic-only clique has a stranglehold over the communities east of downtown. Former Sheriff Alex Villanueva claimed that nothing was going on except maybe a little hazing. And this is the same guy that saw Tiger Woods crash his SUV while traveling twice the speed limit, found an empty unlabeled pill bottle in
FBA Warlord, man, you got it.
Hey, yo, what's up, Red?
Chilling, man, chilling.
Hey, shout out to you, man. Shout out to the family. So I'm saying it's not my main YouTube channel, but I wasn't getting your live streams on my other channel, and I think I'm banned too, by the way.
Oh man, yeah, YouTube been doing that. They've been shadow banning a lot of stuff. But anyway, man, I appreciate you for pulling up, my brother. You got the floor.
Yes, sir. So basically, we got Mayor Mammy over here. I don't know if anybody caught that. We got Mayor Mammy with her Latino husband and her Hispanic baby. You got her. She's the mayor of Compton. We got Karen Bass, who also has a Latino husband and mixed Latino children. I'm just saying, if these were black men, we definitely be commenting on it. I'm just saying. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. We definitely would be commenting on it. What I can say is this, man. In California, New York, Chicago, hell, I mean Atlanta's starting to become like this.
Yeah.
It's turning into a big nothing burger. We're allowing people to come into our community, and I always get angry when brothers, especially, I get it why women and children, right? But when the brothers say, they can come to the cookout, man, you got women at the cookout that could be intoxicated, bro. Your mom's at the cookout. You know what I'm saying? Your little sister's at the cookout, and you're allowing these foreign men, to come to the cookout. It's more than just a cookout, and I don't think the cookout is a metaphor for the community, and you're letting everybody come in where there's vulnerable people, and then when something happens, you are to blame. You are to blame. So me, FBA Warlord, I'm gonna have to say, Black and Brown Coalition, never. Okay. Friends, even the Caribbeans and the Africans have to hold their own. You gotta hold your own, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to earn my brotherhood. When we tried to give you brotherhood, what did you do? You slapped my hand, right? Just because you're my brother, just because you're my cousin, doesn't mean you can come into my house and drink all my beer. Doesn't mean that you can take advantage of my daughter and my wife, okay?
Right.
We're gonna teach you foreigners a lesson. Not violence. We don't believe in violence, but we do believe in any means necessary. You filthy foreigners. All right, that's all.
I appreciate you. FBA Warlord. I'm gonna bring up Scoop, and then I'm gonna let Big E land because I got some runs to make. So I'm gonna let you guys chop up your game. Scoop, you got 5. I'm gonna get Scoop 5 minutes. I'm gonna get Big E 5 minutes, man. Go ahead, Scoop.
Facts. Salute, Red. Salute to the chat. Salute to my FBA brothers and sisters. Man, this is just getting ridiculous. I'm with bro that just got off, man. The cookout closed. I'm gonna say it again. The cookout is closed. we not accepting no new members and no new invites. The cookout is closed down until further notice. Stop giving these people access to anything and everything we have. Look what they trying to do to rap. Look what they trying to do to reparations. They trying everything and anything, as Short say, to get in where they fit in. The cookout is closed. With that being said, we got to be more militant. We got to, what they say, what we really say, turn around and tell them no. That's what we need to start doing. Because all this accepting of everybody and everybody's our friend and sugar plums and candy canes and houses made of gingerbread, that mess don't work. They look at us as weak and take advantage of anything and everything that we have and then turn around and give us their behinds to kiss. Look at what they're doing. These people don't even know history. They come over here. How many of them claim that this is their land? No, it's not. Since when? That was my ancestors out in them fields. Not where was they at? Where was them 30 lashings on day back? Didn't nobody look over and say, hey, hurry up and pick that cotton faster, Vato? No, that was us. That was our ancestors. Was they towns burned to the ground? Were they colonized like we were? Now they want reparations for going through what? What you need reparations for? Your reparations is all them EBT cards they gave y'all with like $5 grand on it. Since y'all want to talk about us with some EBT, how about all the programs they gave y'all? They just rolled out the red carpet for y'all. They gave y'all everything they refused to give us or told us they can't give us. But you want more. What more do you want? Oh, Texas was Mexico at one time. California was Mexico. You know what? Don't nobody care. You didn't care now until it was time to start deporting people. Because I ain't heard none of this. Y'all was just fine here living in America, just loving it, getting your little taco carts, making Central look like Mexico, made Manchester look like Mexico, Slauson look like Mexico. You're trying to make Crenshaw look like Mexico. You got Vernon looking like Mexico. You got all these streets looking like Mexico. Don't go up and down Western. Y'all got that looking like what more do you want? What more are you asking for? But for some odd dang reason, that's not enough because you've seen what we pushing for and you decide to do what you normally do. Jump on our backs, ride our coattails, and think you can get yours out of what we trying to get. So you come up with stupid things like, no, nobody gets reparations till we do, to the Native Americans. Oh, and to, man, miss me with that. Reparations for what? You guys don't know history. You don't know the atrocity that was done to my people and my ancestors. You don't. You think you do. You hear a Martin Luther King speech and all of a sudden you think you know Black history. You hear an Ice Cube record and you think you know Black history. No, you don't. You don't even know how you got here. You don't even know where you came from. It's a shame we have to educate y'all, but you come here and you speak, you get on platforms like Reg, you troll in the chat, but if you had that much conviction, I notice you never want to hit the link. If you know so much, how come the link ain't never come? The last person I remember coming was that dude named Red, the one you was playing the other day that got the platform, the little Mexican dude. Anyway, he the only one that I heard you have a back and forth with. That's it. Otherwise, they selling his church house. Like, oh, I know Black history. Like, dude, you don't know Black history. What would you know about Black history? What? Because you know the gang around the corner you don't get along with? Man, miss me with that. I'm going to pass it to Big E because I know Big E want to cook too, and I ain't trying to take too much time. But learn your history. Black folks, don't ever let these people lie to you and make you think that they was here before we was. Don't ever let no other race make you think that they built America. It was our ancestors, that blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors that built America, and I'm going to land it right there.
All right, shout out to the homie Scoop, man. I'm going to let Big E, you got the floor. I'm going to let Big E land it, and then after Big E finish cooking, we're going to shut it down. Big E, you got it, brother.
All right. What it do, Red?
Chilling.
What it do, chat? Now, y'all see the play? Here go a couple things. Okay. Number one, black people, they convinced you to get rid of your babies while simultaneously welcoming illegals to have anchor babies in your communities. And you fell for it. Number two, oh man, F the police. Don't do this. Nah, man, y'all shouldn't. Okay, but these Latino gang members is encouraging their kids to go join the police so they could legally come do what to your black ass, right? I mean, really look at it. Street code is like F the police, but it's literally gangs, Hispanic gangs within law enforcement. So if they do, you know what I'm saying? If they do have to come to your neighborhood and give you waffles, no sir, Janet, they legally finna get away with it because the mayor of Compton, y'all saw her husband, right? My man told you about Karen Bass' husband, right? Now again, these are gang members with the tattoos to prove it. But do you see how psychologically stupid they got us? They got our women to convince them that abortion is in your best interest, while simultaneously letting illegals come have as many as they could have, and was giving them EBT, giving them giving them everything to take care of. And y'all didn't even peep that move because you was too just wanting to spite us. And now for you street Negroes who think that being in the police force is off cold, meanwhile, their people is all in with the police gangs. And who do you think that they're going to take their gang activity out on? They're not going to do it to no white boys. They're not going to go do it to the small hats. They're not going to go do it to the Asians, right? So who you think that they're going to go bang on? Who do you think they're going to use all that on? Y'all should have knew this long time ago when they came up with the batter ram. Whose neighborhood did they batter with that ram? But you Negroes is on the street code and ain't even peeping game. The police is keep beating up on us because you told your kids, no, don't do that. We don't have nobody in law enforcement that will look out for us. Why would you expect a bunch of Asians, everybody else who show you and prove every day that they don't like you, right? Now they're on the police force. So if you get out of line, they can come smack sonic rings out your ass, and only thing you can do is take them to court. Y'all just heard that girl. That's a young girl that was saying, I can't stand you monkeys, you chimps, you this, you that. You just heard her. And she was a cop. What are we talking about here? See, y'all don't know. They got black people to look at things through one lens. Everybody else is playing chess. We not even playing checkers. We playing marbles. We ain't even got nothing on the board. We got people that's only been over here 10 minutes running circles around us because y'all not peeping the play. They was already, see again, if you from Cali, I'm finna tell you who started this. This was even before the riots. You can thank Gray Davis. When Gray Davis saw that he was getting ready to lose to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said, I'm going to let illegals have driver's licenses.
Yeah.
He said this back then. Red, you remember that, right, Red?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Now, again, how long ago it's been since Gray Davis was in office in L.A.? And then all of a sudden, you got people like Antonio Villanueva is the sheriff now. You get what I'm saying? And then you get all these others on the city council, and then you wonder why we getting up out our neighborhood. They did it right up under your nose, but we thought that politically we was cool. See what I'm saying? We wasn't even, oh, vote blue no matter who, vote blue no matter who. While they steadily sticking tethers in positions of power. And now look, we sitting up fighting for communities that we built. While they talking about we built America. Nah, we know you didn't build up Compton. We know you didn't put Compton on the map. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was even thinking about Compton until Eazy-E put Compton on the map. Where was y'all at then? You get what I'm saying? Where was y'all? Snoop put Long Beach on the map. Where was y'all at?
And Q put South
Even though we
Central. And
know,
Q put South
you get what
Central
I'm
on the
saying?
map. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, dude, where was y'all at? Come on, man. Y'all didn't build nothing. But y'all are mad, and then y'all are mad because we're calling this out. Everything Red showed you was facts. Y'all can't say fake news, right? You can't say he made nothing up. He gave you the receipt. No, matter of fact, like Jason Black said, nigga, he showed you the invoices. So why are you not addressing what we see y'all are blatantly doing, right? You're not addressing that. You're only addressing the fact that we're calling your racist asses out. That's it. Y'all are mad at us for us being mad at Ashley Gonzalez, and y'all heard her going the whole racist tirade. You get what I'm saying? Now, I guarantee you, if it would have been a black cop that would have said, man, I can't stand you donkey riders, you hat dancers, you chili shitters, all y'all would be pissing razor blades right now. You don't never hear us making videos about y'all. Y'all only be talking about the response videos. We be responding to your racism. And that's what's insane to me. Why are y'all trying to make it seem like we tripping because we tired of your disrespect? And the excuses that y'all keep using, oh, well, when we was kids, bro, we all went through shit when we was kids. Everybody. If you in any urban school, you gonna get your hands dirty sooner or later. You get what I'm saying? But y'all, again, y'all let people like these Holden Martins and all these people come tell y'all stupid for not voting Democrat. And these same Democrats is letting these immigrants come join gangs, and they got you aborting your babies and got them having all the babies they can have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, goddamn, it's like, dude, why do y'all, that ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump either. They've been doing this for decades.
Right.
Y'all keep saying Trump. Okay, once again, brothers like Red, myself, and other brothers was trying to tell y'all, LA is the prototype for what's finna come to your city. And voila, today, what's happening? What are they complaining about in Chicago? Immigrants, right? In Minnesota, immigrants, right? In LA, Atlanta, immigrants, right?
Yep.
In Florida, in New York, everywhere. We told y'all this was coming. But see, y'all didn't see the political play. And now y'all see the extent of how they got it. They can get illegal CDLs. They can get housing. Matter of fact, they got buildings that ain't accepting nothing but illegals. And your black ass, your whole family line been here and you can't get it. Y'all tell me I'm lying. Tell me, what did Trump have to do with that? Let's keep it a buck. What did Trump have to do with what did happen to the black community? That don't happen overnight. Y'all just wasn't paying attention. And now that it's in your city, oh, well, Trump, no. We told you it was 20 million illegals here 15 years ago. It's probably closer to 30. and they bust them. They bust them and fly them all over the country, and they did it right under your nose.
Yeah.
Y'all looked up like, see, we next to the border. We saw them coming, but y'all just looked up one day. Now they in Ohio. Now they in Atlanta, Detroit. Now they're all over the place where normally Hispanics are not known to be. And y'all didn't even see the play. And yet y'all sitting up here talking about Trump. No, this was decades in the making, champ. Y'all were voting blue and they were laughing at y'all because you were voting for your own destruction. And y'all didn't even see the play. So now we talking about 100 years from now, man, where all these Mexicans come? No. Where'd all the black babies go? See, they came over here and multiplied while you decreasing your numbers. If you got enough numbers, you running things. Y'all don't see that? Damn. All these people claim they at least read 48 Laws of Power. And y'all act like y'all barely read See Jack Run, son. God damn. Exactly, Obama too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just seen a little melanin in somebody. Now all of a sudden, he telling your son he could be Tinkerbell. That's all it took was a little melanin for y'all to fall for everything that fool did. And he sat up and told you in your face, I ain't finna do nothing for you. Yeah, I could have did something for you, but I didn't. Damn. All y'all talking about Trump. Okay, what's plaguing the black community and what has been plaguing the black community literally has nothing to do with Donald Trump. You're not looking at your local. What did Brandon Jacobs do to Chicago? What was Lori Lightfoot doing to Chicago? Tell me what Donald Trump had to do with that. Sorry about that. I'm trying not to cuss. What did Kathy Hochul tell y'all? Kathy Hochul is the governor of somebody in New York. Said you black people ain't even smart enough to log on to a computer. You don't even know how to use a computer. Y'all can look all of this up. I'm not making this up. Meanwhile, everybody else is getting whopped while we sitting up fighting against each other. We got more smoke for each other while everybody else is joining police gangs, coming over here, multiplying, getting you to vote against your own interests because you don't like a particular candidate, like you gonna ever meet him. Like y'all gonna even meet Harris. Anybody you vote for, y'all don't run in them circles. Why do you act like you have to like them? Most of y'all don't even like your boss, but you finna go to work and get that paycheck, ain't you? You probably don't even like most of your coworkers, but I bet it ain't finna stop you from going to get your money. I mean, come on, man. Y'all need to stop letting this media and even sometimes your friends and family be telling you how you need to vote, and you need to really just let's peel back some layers. Like I said, the only reason it's messed up for us now because they came over here and multiplied. They ain't did nothing. They came and multiplied while they talked you into decreasing your numbers.
Yeah.
I swear, oh God, Margaret Sanger would love black people today. And I'm going to land with that, Red. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Drink your water, eat your veggies, and most importantly, keep winning.
Shout out to the OG homie, Big E. Yeah, man, I'm just here to let you know that Carmen, JC, as black people, we got to do a better job at stopping these Sambos and raccoons. Anton Daniels, it's like, come on, black people. Y'all still listen to him, and all he does is defend white supremacy on his channel. You listen to Carmen, JC, and all she does is defend white supremacy on her channel. We got to do better. I shouldn't have to tell nobody from the FBA community to bless the like button when I go live, to support the platform when I go live. I should never have to say that. The fact that I do shows me that we got a major problem in our community. A major problem when it comes to our people. We can't even call it a community. A community is a place where people have unity and common goals. There's no such thing as a black community no more. It's really not. Make sure that you guys bless the like button if you haven't already. I'm going to get up out of here. It's King Supreme. I'm signing out, y'all. Catch me on the next one, man. I'm gone. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. That's what's up. Subscribe to the channel. And oh, yeah, if you're really rocking with King Supreme, make sure that you guys hype this video. When it uploads to YouTube and you watch the replay, hype the video. We need several people hyping the video. The show that I did about Megan Thee Stallion yesterday hyped the video. There was a lot of game, a lot of straight-laced game in that live stream that I did yesterday about Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. Go over there and hype that video. Get in the comments. We need some more people dropping some comments in the Megan Thee Stallion stream we did last night. And we most definitely need people hyping the video and getting in the comments when this video uploads to YouTube. And rightfully so. Peace, love, and blessings. Giving you game to keep you from stressing. As your plot, hey, homie, it's your play upon the King Supreme. Make sure that you like this stream. I'm up out of here, y'all. Catch me on the next one. Adios.